Hi guys, welcome back to the AI language. So today we are going to build our first app with the AI language Flutter workspace in project IDX by Google. So let's continue from where we left off. Whenever you reach back to the project IDX home screen, you'll actually find your last workspace over here. So click on that to get started. You can check out our last video for the setup steps that we followed to get over here. All right, so I have the IDX workspace open now. So what I'll do is I'll try to write my first app over here and see how that goes. So we're going to remove everything below this, right? And just to learn how to write the app, we're going to remove this as well. And we're going to start writing our app over here. So just to understand, a main.dart file is basically the file where everything starts and Flutter starts to load your application. Main function is the first function that it runs, and a run app is the function that instructs the Flutter framework to load the widget that you specify over here. For now, this actually specified the counter app, and that is what you were able to see over here. So to begin with, we'll add a material app like so inside the run app function. And what this instructs Flutter framework is to actually load a material app over here. So what is a material app? A material app is basically a design framework from Google that helps you provide consistent designing across all platforms, and it also helps you with navigation and its styles that you can actually use across your app. So we are going to use that, and then let's specify the home property, which basically tells material app what is the home screen for your app. So let's provide a widget over here, which is a simple widget over here, which is just a hello world widget. This just tells material app to actually load the text hello world on its home screen, and this should automatically compile to show us the updated app over here. Let's wait for that to happen, and there you have it. So you have hello world written over here, right? Now we can change this text with something called a scaffold. So a scaffold is basically the skeleton of your app. It provides structure and elements like an app bar, a body for content over here. The app bar comes on the top over here. There's a drawer menu that you can actually add, and there's a floating action button with some footer buttons and a bottom navigation sheet and so on. All that can be added over here. There are also some action buttons that you can add over here with the menu. And what we are trying to now do is to actually add a scaffold over here. So let's add an empty scaffold first. And we end it with a comma over here and add the scaffold like so. And this should now show us just a blank screen because we have not added any other element inside the scaffold for now. Now let's go ahead and add some elements to the scaffold. So the first thing that we can add to a scaffold is a app bar. So let's add an app bar. To add an app bar, you actually write app bar starting with a small a, and every new word is capitalized. So this is called lower camel case, and this is how you specify a property like the yellow home property or the yellow app bar property, and then you specify the actual widget. So let's add app bar like so, and this starts with a capital A, and similarly the bar, the B in the bar is also capital, so this is upper camel case. And then we specify parentheses like this. We need to add some items to it, so let's add a property called title, and this is going to basically give our app bar a title. For the title, it basically takes in a widget, so let's put a text widget over here which says my first app. So now we wait for this to compile, and as soon as this compiles, we should see an app bar over here with this particular title. Okay, so there you have it, my first app written over here. Now just to recap and understand what's happening, the Flutter app when it launches enters the main function first. The main function runs the run app function, which basically instructs the Flutter framework to load a material app that basically provides a design framework by Google for consistent styling. Apart from that, the material app specifies a home property which tells Flutter what to load as the first home screen of your app. We've specified that to be a scaffold with just an app bar over here. So the app bar widget is basically what builds this particular top portion where it says my app, my first app, and the my first app text is basically provided using the title property of the app bar which says text my first app. Now the scaffold also provides some other interesting elements or widgets that basically we can specify. So one is the body widget, right? And the body widget basically adds content to this particular section. So what we'll do is we try to again add a text to the body widget. To do that, let's first use another widget called center. So this widget will center its content across the body of the scaffold. Now inside the center, we can add a child. So the child property basically tells the center widget what is the content that needs to be centered in the body over here. So over here we are going to put text, and let's press tab to auto complete the suggestion over here. So when we press tab, it says hello world, and now we should see a text hello world in the center over here. Okay, so there you have it. So you have the hello world text and it is centered over here. Now what we'll do is we'll also add another property to the app bar, to the scaffold, which is called the floating action button. So this property basically makes a small button over here, which is what you see in several apps to take some actions like adding new elements over here or accessing the chat interface for help and so on. So we're going to add a floating action button, and how you do that is actually typing floating action button, which is the widget name, and then you need to provide 2 or 3 properties for this particular button. The first thing is to define what happens when the button is pressed. Right now we don't want to do anything over here, so what we can do is we can just provide an empty function over here. It's an anonymous function basically, and what this function does is that it basically tells the floating action button that you don't need to do anything. To make it more interesting, we can actually add a print statement over here which just says fab pressed, and fab stands for floating action button over here, and we can just put a semicolon over here to end this print statement. So now we have an on pressed for our floating action button, and this basically helps us specify what we want to what action we want to happen when we press the floating action button. Now we can put a comma over here after on pressed, and we can add another property which is the actual child, and this is the widget that the floating action button will show. Let's add an icon over here. So for that we use the icon widget, and there are some pre-built icons that we have over here, like icons dot add IC call outline, import contacts, insert chat outline, and so on. So what we'll do is we'll add an icons dot add over here, and this add is basically the plus symbol. So what it will do is it will show a plus sign inside a floating action button over here. Let's wait for that to happen. All right, and there you have it. You have the plus button over here. Yeah, so you'll see that happening in the debug console inside the web console over here, which basically gives you all the print statements that you have added over here. So guys, this is just to show that how easy it is to use Google IDX to build your first app and learn Flutter at the same time. Just now we actually, having done zero setup on a local machine, have made a simple app with a main function, with a material app over here, with scaffold, app bar, and then a body which centers a text called hello world, and then a floating action button over here. And we'll use this tool to learn Flutter so that we can dive right into Flutter without having to worry about the setup process. We'll also look at compiling for Android, but we'll take that up next time. For now, you can actually just simply shift to this tab and the simulator will automatically start. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video if you found it helpful, and do subscribe to our channel and check out the other videos as well. See you next time.